go!
I was checking out the scout report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one to run. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Hey. Your organization is looking stressed. What? And now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed. And now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
62. This is the Rewind. Welcome in another live episode brought to you by Global Sports Entertainment 3. I'm the captain, the CEO, and the person responsible just in case we get canceled tonight due to Bryant's Unfiltered that will be debuting again. His 10-day contract got extended. And Monty Moss here, and all grace to the good Lord. As you can see, we are in office today. I guess we'll call it in-office studios, breaking down a lot of NBA, some interesting stuff with the series going on. I'm wearing this tonight because of my Lakers playing tonight. Hopefully they can close out Houston and not force a Game 6 because we don't need a Game 6 happening. We need to get them out in 5 and get ready for OKC because I'm sure OKC is going to give us a nice 4-1 beatdown. But I'm going to keep hope alive because, you know, we're in the playoffs. There's some teams like the Bulls that aren't. So all grace to the good Lord. Always a pleasure to be here. Another opportunity to get better. Keeping the train rolling. Last episode of April because May is literally on Friday. So we will see you guys, or I will see you guys next week with May, a new month. So new opportunities and praying everybody ends the month of April on a good note. A few house cleaning I want to get into before tonight's episode is some few birthdays out there that I want to highlight, recognize, and shine on because that's just what the beauty of what I do. You know, I like to pour into people who pour into me. So first, I think I'm going to go with my big sister, my god sister. She's been good to me as always. Tiara, her birthday was on Monday, and Taurus season is alive and well. And T, I just want to say happy birthday to you. Appreciate you and all you've done for me over the years. You've opened your doors for me. You've just been someone that I am truly grateful for, and our relationships get stronger by the day and the year. And of course, you know, there's anything you need, I'm here. So she's a beautiful mom that holds her fort down, takes care of her own, independent. Has some beautiful children. One's playing basketball. The young one already has a hoop in the house. I broke the rim by accident. So it got fixed. But just want to shine a light on T. Happy birthday to you. Taurus this season is alive and well. And you, Ashley, and the family, forever grateful for you guys. So happy birthday to you. And I'm sure I'll see you, if not this weekend. Not this weekend. I'm sure I'll see you down the road. We'll celebrate. Next birthday we got is our guy, my big bro Nas, who was on last week with Henry Burris on episode 61. Of course, Newark firefighter. He's a VP of the Newark Founders. Does a lot of amazing things in, of course, the city of Newark with his Rising Stars, his nonprofit with Jay's House. I mean, the guy is just exceptionally a blessed man, and he is another person who pours into my cup, and we come from the same blood, of course, of being mentored by Coach Bryant Garvin. So another one of those folks who's blessed to have a guy like Bryant in our lives, and we want to shine a light on you, Nas. So happy birthday to you. Hopefully your Detroit Lions can get it right this season, and hopefully you know, you can bless us with your presence again. I know he's got a mental health walk coming up in May as well. He's a big advocate for autism awareness. So he's a man that's a jack of all trades, and we're forever grateful for him. And I'm sure he'll be back on later down the line. But let's get our co-hosts in here because tonight business is about to pick up. Chicago's finest, Temple alum, 4-time state champion, over 400 career wins in his co-head coaching basketball career. He's coached over 25 plus years, both football and basketball, and he's an inductee of the Newark Hall of Fame. So, Bryant, welcome into his 62 episode of the Rewind. And question: do you get a vote every year as being? You're not part of the committee, but do you get a vote?
I don't get a vote. Only the guys that's basically on the committee vote for who's going in. I know several people are going in this year, I think Coach Collins is going in this year as in the Hall of Fame. So,
well deserved.
And
Yeah.
a few other people that eventually we'll shout out down the line with this class. So, but I had my Morehouse hat on, and then I have you and our producer basically talking shit about the Bulls. So I'm putting this up because eventually we gonna come back. It's just what it is. So
well, let me shine the light. Let me shine the light on the Toronto Raptors because although they're in the playoffs and although they tied the series up at 2-2, someone just thought it was necessary to recognize them on tonight's episode. I know currently, the fight to get out of the first round is on the line, and Toronto they lost tonight in Game 5. Cavs are up 3-2. But we can talk about that if you like, because Cavaliers are on a mission from God after Kenny Atkinson and his team went home early. They gone fishing early last year in the playoffs. So Toronto has to win pretty much, win out unless their season's over. They get to force a Game 7. But how dare of him to have us talk about the Toronto Raptors? The Toronto who? RJ Barrett, They got some Scotty Barnes. They got some pieces. Emmanuel Quickly. Got some pieces. But they're not there yet. They're not there yet. No. They're not there when they had Dwayne Casey and Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard and Valanciunas. They're not there yet. But they're climbing. They got some young talent. So, but why are you wearing a Bulls hat? Are you celebrating the firing of Billy Donovan or
there you go, because I've been screaming Billy Donovan must go all year. In fact, been doing it for 2 years, and now that he's gone, I'm just scared to see what next coach is going to be there, because they're going to hire a bum, because that organization is purely shit.
Wow,
it's just what it is. They've been.
Well,
shit.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's just they need someone up in the office that know what the hell they're doing, that put pieces together and basically open up them damn pockets and go all the way to the ceiling of the cap, and don't overpay people like Boozer. You pay Boozer like $30 million because you had nowhere to give the freaking money. Like this dumb shit that they do.
Well, there's some good candidates out there. I got Mike Budenholzer, who's sitting on the couch. I mean, you got some well qualified NBA head coaches with some resumes. Frank Vogel, another one, NBA champion. I mean, there's some coaches out there. I just don't know if one of them wants to take the job. I mean, who wants to walk into that mess? Because that's a lot of shit to clean up in Chicago. A lot to clean up.
And I think. The owner owns the White Sox too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he does.
He fucked that up too. It's just like, you win one championship in 2005, I think it was, and then you haven't done shit since. And like, what's your problem, dude? You just
not sure.
You just want to win one and done. You like Kentucky, like to be one and done, one championship and done, and then it's just I don't know. Oh, that's the only. I think that was the White Sox only chip ever. Just like the Cubs, maybe. Go ahead.
Speaking of Kentucky, I know he's no longer the head coach there, but John Calipari officially has the #1 recruiting class going into this upcoming season at Arkansas. I mean, he just signed a 7 big from overseas. I mean,
can he coach
again? I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I did. I did. Can he coach him? Because I already know what offense he runs. He's running the same shit all the time. Can he coach him?
Talent can only take you so far, right?
That's it. The X and O's when it counts. Can you coach him? You put him in the right position to win.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We got a long way till the upcoming season. Let us Michigan fans enjoy this summer of being national champions. Something the Ohio State men's basketball team hasn't done it in quite some time. So got to take my digs at our guy Chris when we can, because he's a beloved beloved Ohio State Buckeye fan. But, I don't blame him from leaving, Ohio State as a fan after Greg Olden left. I don't blame him. But we got a good episode tonight. We're supposed to have 2 guests, but we had a change of schedule with one of them. She's a phenomenal person who covers the WNBA, does a lot of work for the WNBA. So we would get her on in May. Date to be determined, but I know we're supposed to have 2 guests, but we still got one, and we still going to make it do what it do. So let's get him in here. Dexter Lawson Jr., if you don't know, he's a professional football player. 3 years CFL defensive back, 2 years with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, 1 year with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I'm sure Chris knows a little bit about Winnipeg. He's a former Division I All-American at Central Connecticut University, as well as
App State.
Did I do that? Brian, I'm having one of those moments again, like Dr. Mike's intro, like Dr. Mike, App State University. Dexter is also an inspiration to kids in his community, and he is an up and coming TV personality. We're just gonna put up and coming TV star personality. We're gonna speak into existence. That's what we do. So joining us on episode 62, former All-Pro, Jack of all trades, Dexter Lawson Jr. Dex, appreciate you taking the time to come on tonight. It's always a pleasure. I know we talked previously before tonight's episode. You got some things cooking that we'll talk about, highlight throughout tonight's episode, but it's good to see you, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate, just having me on here. I'm ready to, talk some ball, talk some things with you guys.
It's good stuff.
All right. I mean, look, his resume is pretty good, Brian. I mean, I looked at it. I did my homework, as I do with all my guests, and I was like, man, how the hell didn't this guy? How is he not playing on somebody's roster? But we'll talk about that. But we got business is about to pick up. And Dex, I'm just going to give you a warning now for tonight's. Brian's been on a multiple week 10-day contract with his Unfiltered, and I'm going to tell you right now, he got it right once again on paper. He's got to deliver on tonight's episode. But all I ask is, Bryant, please do it again. That's all I ask. So we're going to get into NBA playoffs update of 2026. We break down last night's game between the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. Boston losing at home in a potential closeout game, 113-97. 76ers coming into Boston, forcing a Game 6. Game 6 will be back in Philadelphia. Sixers outscored Boston in the fourth quarter, 28-11. Joel Embiid definitely made his presence known with having 33 points, 12 of 23 from the field, 8 assists, was a plus 13 in the plus-minus column. Listen, this guy has been banged up. He's missed more games than he's played, but no better time to make your presence felt in the playoff game, and that was last night, winning Game 5 to force a Game 6. There's nobody on Boston that could stop him, not Vucevic, not Garza, not Cueta. Nobody can stop Joel Embiid in the post nor at the rim. 33 points on the night. Well done. Tyrese Maxey, we know what he does. He's worth the money that Philadelphia pays him. 25 points, 10 to 18 from the field. Didn't have the greatest night of shooting from three from 10 from the field, but had 10 rebounds. We love when guards get down there and get dirty with the rest of them. He was plus 15 also on the plus-minus. PG, playoff P. I'm not sure I'm ready to say that yet because he ain't playoff P no more, but we're going to give him his flowers for what he did last night. 16 points, 6 of 13, 4-9 from 3. But most importantly, I think, talking about this game, we look at both teams and how we always have expressed the importance of bench play. Quentin Grimes was that for Philadelphia off the bench, 18 points in 18 minutes of play. Boston, not the greatest shooting night from deep because we know Boston lives and died by the three. They was 11 of 39, shooting 28% from behind the arc in last night's loss. Outside of Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown for Celtics, no one else was in double figures besides Peyton Pritchard. That definitely cannot be the factor going into Game 6 in Boston. Other players have to step up if Boston wants to close it out in Philly because we know Philly is going to be rocking at Wells Fargo. We know that Joel Embiid is coming back to finish what he started from Game 5. And look, call it for what it is. Boston's got to close out Game 6 in Philly. Just cannot afford to go to Game 7 because the momentum will be with, of course, the Philadelphia 76ers going back to Boston. Bryant, Dexter, you guys know you're up 3-1 at home in front of your home crowd. You have to close it out because you do know the more that you play and extend these playoff series, the tougher it is going into the next round. And we know that the Celtics are healthy, but they have to be at full strength with as much rest as possible, especially Jason Tatum, if they want to keep their chances high of getting back to an NBA Finals and potentially meeting OKC. I don't know if OKC is a favorite out of the West. I'm going to say it is right now, but who am I? So, fellas, let's go over to the Knicks series because Brian's a big fan of Jalen Brunson, right? 126-97 to take a 3-2 series lead heading back to Atlanta. And look, Brunson did exactly what he said he was going to do, and that was have a better game, and he dropped 39 and 8 assists. Bryant sharing the sugar. Defensively, the Knicks did an outstanding job with how they were guarding C.J. McCollum, only finishing I don't even have that in my notes. Shame on me. I should be fired. They probably will fire me. I believe he had 6 points in game last night's loss, I believe. Quote me on that because I'm willing to bet I'm correct. Only having 6 points after having his way in games 2, 3, and 4, and that was in Jalen Brunson business while Jalen Brunson was guarding on the defensive side. But Jalen Brunson did what he was supposed to offensively. And Karl Anthony Towns, Bryant, we talked about this. He has a great first half, and then in the second half, he just disappears, and they just hide him in the corner somewhere. If I'm Mike Brown, I just don't know how you don't play down low, give it to him, force him to create for others, collapse the defense. But we know Jalen Brunson is going to have the ball for at least 17 seconds of the 24 on the shot clock. So can the Knicks close it out going back to Atlanta in Game 6? Bryant, Dexter, quick picks. Who you got? Can the Knicks get it done, or do you see Atlanta forcing another win to force a Game 6?
I think Atlanta will force a Game 6. I don't think the Knicks can stay consistent. And now that if the Atlanta's Hawks head coach understands that they made an adjustment to deny McCollum, I think they're going to make an adjustment for the adjustment, and it's going to make the Knicks kind of question their second adjustment. So as they're doing all this adjusting around, it's going to give Atlanta some leeway for the next game, and then the person who makes the best adjustment on the last one is going to win the whole series. I'm not a Knicks fan. You already know the deal. I think that Brunson has talent. I think he sucks on defense. And if I'm Atlanta, I'm going to expose him all the way through and put him in foul trouble. And they can very possibly do that, especially if they don't hide him.
Dexter, who do you like, Knicks or Hawks in Game 6 or Game 5? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree with Bryant. I think the Hawks will definitely force a Game 7. I think, for Brunson to have 39, I think he would have to do that again in Game 6 if they want to close it. But like Bryant said, I think the Hawks will come out and make some adjustments to their defensive game plan against Brunson to kind of, make it tougher on him. And just like Bryant said, I think they'll go at him on the defensive side too as well, kind of expose him. He's a smaller guard, and it's been his negative, his downside all his career, but he's just a great scorer, so they keep him on the floor. But I think the Hawks, this series has been a battle from Game 1, so it's been back and forth, pretty much each and every other game. I think the Hawks will definitely force a Game 7 though. But my Celtics, man, I was watching the game yesterday, and it hurt me to see them, not finish because we were leading the whole game, and like you said, Joel Embiid, he just seemed unstoppable. As soon as he got the ball in the post, it was just like he would just turn around, or he might take a couple dribbles and the ball was in the basket very easily. But I think the thing with Joel Embiid is just when he wants to be that person, when he wants to be that dominant, unstoppable person, that's what you have to deal with. And I think his consistency with not only his health, but just showing up in games is kind of why the 76ers are in the position that they're in. But I do think we will close it in Philly next game. Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes.
Because I'm just saying the way Joel Embiid played last night, man. I don't think Brad Stevens as an executive can stop him. I mean, he was getting everything he wanted. But this is the Joel Embiid that, if healthy, when healthy on a consistent basis, this is what you expect. We want to see the duo of Embiid and Maxey. We do know that they're an unstoppable force. We know Maxey is one of the best guards in the NBA, and Boston got trouble guarding him as well. Peyton Pritchard is struggling. And look, I don't know what adjust. I look forward to actually seeing the adjustments that that Boston makes in terms of the coverages for Joel Embiid. Do you come at him with a double in the post? Do you try to get the ball out of his hands quickly? Because once he takes those 3 dribbles and he already has his mind made up on what he's doing, it's already over. And the way he was just getting down low with ease. So I look forward to seeing what Boston's going to do to come out. But more importantly, I want to see Boston be more aggressive, put the ball on the floor. The fact that, they shot 39 threes last night, I should say. If the 3 ball's not falling, what else can we do offensively? You know what I mean? And 28% from the field, this is Boston's MO. We know they can easily put up 49 threes in a game and make 25 of them, or like last night, put up 39 and only make 11. So got to be more aggressive. Got to be more aggressive. And outside of Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, who else on this team besides Peyton Pritchard off the bench is going to give me some quality minutes, one, but more importantly, who's going to give me some quality production, in terms of getting in the box score? Because it comes down to the bench. Bench play is important in the playoffs. That gives you the extra push. You don't need to be like the New York Knicks and play all your starters 38 minutes in the game. Mix it up, but it's the playoffs, and we know the rotation shrinks. The situation changes as the games go on. So I look forward to seeing what Boston does coming out in Philly in Game 6, but I know that place is going to be jam-packed, rocking. I look forward to seeing AI and the Stars on the sideline, courtside, and I'm gonna take Philly just for the sake of let's see a Game 7 in Boston. 2 greatest words. Let's go Sixers. And I'm a Laker fan, so why would I root for the Celtics to close it out in Game 6? What's the matter with me? You crazy? I'm not doing that. So we look forward to seeing it and be able to catch that game as well as the Knicks going to Atlanta. Let's pivot because there's a lot to talk about with Dexter, highlighting, of course, his football career, navigating through his football career, but more importantly, he's been on the opposite side of the scale, and that's being able to look at the NIL from a different perspective. We know that we wish, just like Bryant, Bryant's got 1 year of eligibility left, so there's a possibility somebody may be calling him to walk on, give him a nice little NIL payday and catch a few passes or do a few run blocks, and he just may be all right. Just might. So, Dex, let's talk to you because I want to get your perspective on where you see NIL right now. The culture is definitely changing daily. We know that Nick Saban and the Trump roundhouse table are trying to put different rules and structures and restrictions in place to somewhat put a cap on NIL. But from your perspective, what is your take on the NIL culture and what impact has this done? Not also from a high school level perspective, but more importantly from a college athletic perspective. What do you say about that?
Yeah, no, I think the NIL space is interesting. I think I compare it to the Wild Wild West right now. And I think, Saban and a lot of other guys, wanting to put a cap on it. I think that's what it's missing. It's missing some sort of structure. Right now, it's just whoever has the most money, you can do whatever with the money that you have. And, when it comes to the kids, it seems, like a good thing, a positive thing in the beginning, but you're starting to see a lot of, the downsides to this culture and this NIL thing without it having any real structure. We talk about kids that's, transferring every year. Obviously, it's taking away the integrity of, the pride of college sports where, usually you're used to, guys sticking there for 3 to 4 years or whatever the case may be, and they're going to school for pride, where now as kids are kind of going to school for money, which I'm not mad about because as a former college athlete, I kind of wished, we were getting paid for our efforts and, the amount of money we were making these institutions. But at the same time, we do have to add some structure to this playing field because it's no longer amateur sports anymore. It's professional business at this point. A lot of these guys or some of these guys are getting paid more than, some of the professionals at their sport. And where that is kind of being negative is like these guys, they feel like they already made it, sometimes. And with this money just being thrown around and no real, financial literacy, it's a bunch of different topics that, we could break down when it comes to this NIL thing. And I feel like it's just so wide open of a topic and, such a big wild, wild west to where there's no structure. There's no, I've heard stories about, people being agents to some of these kids and taking, 15 to 20% of their NIL money, whereas, at the professional level, you can't even do that as an agent because, there's certain, PA rules and things of that nature that, an agent can only get a certain amount of money. But it's just a lot of finesse and a lot of, you know, things going on in this space that I think needs to be in, you know, come to a controlled place. I think the NCAA, or, you know, whether they get like a union or something going on, something needs to happen to where we act for more structure in this space right now.
Well, Dexter, unfortunately, there will not be a union in the NCAA because the NCAA doesn't want to treat the players or athletes as employees because that will create more turmoil. But, Brian, this man just sat up here and said that he wished he would have got the opportunities that these players get today, knowing damn well the money was coming in through the back door. Lying his ass off on this platform. Walking in that locker room, the brown bag is already in his locker. Go on, sit up there and tell. The bag is way now.
Yeah, the bag is way fatter now, though. The bag is way fatter now.
Yeah, you weren't just getting Pell Grant money.
Yeah, little bags. It's like this, right? And some of the things that me doing my social media search with Nick Saban, you know, the bad thing about this is the coaches and Nick Saban going to Trump and asking him to maintain control. Back then, the coaches had all the control with the illegal bag. Now it's a legal bag that they want to control. And I totally disagree with that. You can have structure without having the coaches control. They don't need to have control over players' money. I completely disagree with that. They get paid enough money themselves, and they need to control their own money. If it's my money and it's my name, I'm making money off of it. Why in the hell do I need a coach to control my shit? No, you can get them financial literacy before they get the bag. You can set that up for all the players to receive financial literacy and counseling as far as where to invest, how to invest your money, invest in property, buying stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whatever it may be. You can teach them how to do those particulars and open up a brokerage online and use your phone and not gambling on games and all that stuff. Play the stock market and do it the safer way. You can do those things. That's a form of coaches control. If you want to control something, teach them that. But don't control a player's money of how much they're getting, when they're getting, and holding it over their head. Now, you can put certain things in bylaws in if a kid or a player, student athlete, comes to practice late, and you can fine them for some certain things. That's a form of control about, you know, being rebellion. Yes, do that. But as far as controlling a player's money, I completely disagree with it because they've earned it, and they earned it from out the gate. So what Nick Saban and Trump was trying to do, I'm not buying it. I'm not with it. I think it's disgusting to do it. Let the players have that money, but then have some structure behind it before they receive it.
Yeah, for clarification, I'm with you on that too. I don't want these players to, you know, have their money controlled by any coaches or anything of that nature. My whole standpoint is more so, how do we get these guys, you know, financial literacy with this money? Because you see a lot of these guys at these bigger schools, you know, they're getting this big bag, and we're proud of them and things like that. But everybody's got all the big diamond chains, they got all the bust downs, they got all the, you know, all the cars, and, you know, they wrecking their whips and things like that. I think because they're still kids, you know what I'm saying? Their frontal lobe is still developing. They're only like 18 to 23 years old. So, I mean, they're still going to be kids at the end of the day. But like you said, there is some sort of structure that we can't add, but definitely not controlling their money. Oh no, I would never do that.
Yeah, I was in Texas this past week, and you know, I was driving on the highway going on Route 10, and next thing you know, I see like 2 Ferraris with name tags. Now you already know Texas. Then you got Ole Miss down there. You got Texas A&M. You have all these schools with Mississippi license plate. So I already knew where that was coming from. That's either Ole Miss or Mississippi State. So you know, you got, and his name was Wesley with Mississippi tags. So I'm going to do my homework and see if there's a Wesley in Ole Miss or Mississippi State or one of them different schools driving on the highway on 10 at 11, 12 o'clock at night. Well, you know I'm going to do it.
I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen, I think, at this point in time. I mean, the collegiate athletics directors, school presidents, vice presidents, ADs, they don't have control as they did previously. And what I mean by that is, we have now in the NIL era where boosters have a say-so in hirings and firings, and because they are another financial supply for the institution, you've now allowed them into rooms, into conversations that they have no business being a part of, right? If you are a booster or a donor, you give to the school continuously because you support the program, football or basketball, and helping them win. Since when is you giving money and you get to say, well, hey, I don't want to go hire this guy. Let's go hire this guy because this guy's a better man. And these folks don't know shit about football. They just got a shitload of money. So when you talk about structure, let's put the right people in the room and let's have these conversations and put laws or rules in place. Now, it's got to be across the board. It just can't be for the Power Fives. It's got to be for all Division I, schools. You know what I mean? And not everybody gets the privilege of playing in Power Five conferences because they're just not good enough, or the coaches aren't just recruiting them. Because we know the portal is hot on fire from the moment the door opens to the moment it's the last day before the portal closes. So there's got to be things in place from that perspective. So I do agree with Brian and Dex in there, but more importantly, it has to come down to the right individuals. Trump's got this roundhouse with all these different folks, from commissioners to Power Fives, ACC, Big 12, SEC. We got governors. We have senators in the room. Those people don't belong in the room because they don't have a football background. They don't have a conversation to even begin with. But because you know how the clique and the circles go, you buddy with somebody, let's just invite them anyway because they're politically invested in that particular state, and it's like they're from Florida. What does that have to do with the state of the college of the NIL of college football? I mean, outside of Miami Hurricanes, I mean, who else in Miami is good? I mean, the Gators are still recovering and still trying to put themselves back on the map. Florida A&M, no. So, it just got to be something done. I'm sure Saban is trying to work his magic best way he can with trying to write his own narrative to get his way, because the rules that he was once breaking illegally and the game plan that he was once using to get all these 5-star athletes out of high school, get them, obviously a money, the close your eyes way. That formula and recipe has been broken out and out to the world, which is not gatekeeped anymore, and everyone else is caught on. But now with the NIL, all these schools have taken advantage of the Saban rule or the Saban way, or however you want to name it. And you look at a school like Indiana this past year, right? Kirstenetti's second year had a great first year. Indiana, second year, brought him to national championship, won a Big Ten title. I mean, look at the amount of transfers he brought in from his first year there to his second year. But that's the name of the game, and everybody's doing it. So instead of boosters and donors having a say-so, donate however money you want to do because you want to support your school. No problem. I have no problem with that. But it just got to be some players on the board that are on the same page of trying to run this ship the right way. Players shouldn't have a cap on NIL. It's their name, their image, and their likeness. If they are bringing in $10, $12, $15 million in sponsorships because Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Jaguar or BMW wants to do brand deals with them, give them that exposure because it's a two-way street. But the fact that, Saban wants to have Trump with these executive orders saying, well, they can't do this and they can't do that, I think it's full of shit. And I think Dexter's right, speaking from a former professional collegiate athlete. Now, we know that first off, Brian, are you happy with the Bears draft? Because I know I am as a Patriot. I know my coach wasn't there on day 3 because he had the greatest weekend of counseling, which was like 2 days, like great. But are you happy with your Bears? Look, I'm not going to talk about that tonight. All right, I'm gonna back my coach all the way. All right, but I'm happy with my draft. I'm happy. And listen, they're going to yell at me because double standard, and if he was black, he'd been fired. I'm not saying y'all wrong, but I'm not saying you right either. All right, this man, reporter Diana Rossini, when he was in Tennessee. Okay, now that he's in England, you guys blow the shit out of proportion. It's not my fault. They were messy. They weren't running, doing things correctly. She named the baby Michael. I got nothing to do with it. Messy. You thought Unfiltered was one thing. I could tear it up right now with this, but I won't. Okay, I won't. I'm gonna be nice tonight. But Dexter, the NFL draft can be the greatest day of your life in terms of wherever round you go through, rather 1 through 6 or 7, or obviously undrafted. Even if you get a training camp invite or mini work or whatever, anytime you get an invitation to play. And it's a blessing, right? Where even sometimes when you just got to showcase your skills, you're not getting paid for it, but it's an opportunity. Good things happen on draft night, and bad things happens also. And what I mean bad thing is if you are a player that has grinded and got the shit out the mud and did what you were supposed to do, had a great combine, and scouts are raving about you, you're feeling good going into draft day, you're hearing that you could potentially get drafted or potentially be undrafted, but somebody's going to pick up and call your phone and say, hey, we want you. Hill is when you don't get that phone call and you have to have that mental thought in your brain of me not getting drafted and am I not good enough and what's next for me. And you've experienced that personally. So I want to get your perspective and pick your brain on this, because tell us, for the folks out there like myself, because I've never got to that level of being in a draft room or even being at a combine, maybe in my dream, but definitely not in reality. Talk to us about the mental piece of it, knowing that, your skills are one thing, your talent is another. You have the accolades, you have a pretty good college resume, but not getting a phone call on NFL draft day and not being able to get the opportunity to play at the next level. What was that like for you? And tell us how you were able to pretty much still put the pieces together despite not achieving your dream, and that's putting a succession plan in place with not being drafted.
Yeah, no, it's a weird feeling, to be honest. Just like most of these guys, like myself, all the way up until that point, I was the man on every team. I was the man, on all my teams, from college to high school to even, Pop Warner and things like that. And, just coming on that big day, every kid, once he starts playing football, he dreams about being in the NFL and hearing his name called and, having his family support and be proud of him. And for that day to come or that weekend to come and, you're not getting no call at all. And, you kind of just, for the first time, you just kind of sitting there and you have no guaranteed opportunity of football. And so for me, going through that, it was tough at first. I think for a lot of the guys, you have to be very mentally strong at that point. Not just because, things aren't going your way, just because we have a lot of distractions. We have a lot of internal issues as far as we think people are looking at us in a certain light when we don't get our name called. And a lot of people feel like, when we don't get our name called, it's an embarrassment to us. We didn't make it, we're a failure. And, everything we've been working on for the past 10 years leading up until this point, it all was for a waste, where, I quickly realized, that's not true at all. The journey is just getting started. It's just like, any other level. Once you go to a new level, you have to start from the bottom somewhere. And, the stakes and the situation may not be ideal for you, but at the end of the day, you are who you say you are. And, you have to make the best of whatever opportunity you have come up next for you. For me, it ended up being the CFL. It ended up being Canada. Whereas, right after the draft, I think maybe like a week or two after that, I was in Canada on a rookie contract, trying to earn a spot on the team. I'm starting from, fourth, fifth on the depth chart and rookie mini camp and training camp. And then, working my way to the actual, team and practice squad. And then, the second week of the season, I was starting. It's just putting my head down and working and understanding that, just being undeniable. I think a lot of these guys with social media and things of that nature, it's a lot of different influences, and we kind of look to compare our situations to others. We may see other guys that we played against or played with being drafted and, feel like they're in a better situation than us. But little do we know, we don't know what they're going through or what they've been through or how they got to that situation. I think it's important that, as, professionals or just like people, we continue just to run our own race. We try not to compare our situation to others because, they say comparison is a thief of joy. And when we do that, we kind of forget, how far we came. For me, I kind of found myself in that same light too as well because, I had got to this point where, the Chargers and the Rams, they were calling me, and the Bears, they were calling me before draft and stuff like that. And then I didn't hear nothing from them. And then I had to take a step back and like think about myself, like the fact that they even had my number, and had the DC to pick up the phone and, knew my name and things of that nature. And I was able to be an All-American, and I was able to, have 11 career interceptions at the college level or things of that nature. Like that's an accomplishment in itself. And that's something to be proud of. And that wasn't for nothing. And, I just started to put my head down and continue to work, continue to, keep God first, pray on, my journey and things of that nature. And then, things kind of started to fall into place for me.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you was going through and what you went through and where you are right now. And my agent back in the day told me is it's not about how good you play, is that how many butts you can put in those seats.
Mm-hmm.
That's just all it is, because
Right.
they already know you can play, but can you sell yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at them like, well, if I would have known that, I would have acted like a goddamn fool on a football field. And your coach is telling you to act one way, and you got to sell yourself, and you got to sell it to the NFL and the CFL or whatever it may be. So, it's all business, man. When it gets to that point, and you got some guys in the NFL that don't belong there, and it's all politics. It
Yep.
plays a heavy part in it. And who your agent knows, and who palms can get greased, and it's unfortunate. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about who's talented and who's not. You look at our guy, the quarterback from Colorado. He's probably as talented as can be. He dropped all the way down to the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
That politics, man. It's just what it is. So, but my hat goes off to you for you to keep your head up and keep fighting a good fight, and now you're playing in the CFL, and let's see eventually they bring you home, because this football game is not for long. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's quick. It's quick. You're in and out, and just be smart with your money.
Appreciate that.
Willing to bet all my money that Dexter will probably could lock you up in your prime. I'm willing to put that on public record.
You gotta understand something. Dexter's a little guy.
They've been telling me that all my career, man.
He's one of those little guys that I used to run over in practice. Let's go like this. So I had, we had a player that was a DB, Keita Crispina, and he caught me one time because I wasn't expecting it, and he caught me right underneath my chin. My damn helmet went up. So the next one, I said, all right, and I knew they just go throw a ball to me again. So the next one, I ran his ass over, and I ran over my other teammate Kyle, and he was like, "Oh, you was ready for that one?" I said, "Yeah, you little motherfuckers are sneaky." So I get it. I get these little DBs, and, they come out with their little cockiness and all that other stuff. As a tight end, I didn't respect them. I said, "You're too little." I was more worried about them linebackers. Them motherfuckers, they hit you.
Well, we're wishing Dexter all the success because again, it's stories like that we hear that we as people have to question of how is this possible for someone of Dexter's talent having a heart of a lion at his size and his height and the career he's had. I'm wishing nothing but the best, but I know guys got you covered because joy is coming in the morning, and as long as you have that mentality that you do have and you keep the faith that you have right now, I just know good things happen because timing is everything. And from someone of experience, some degree, not in the sports world, but in the sports world, timing is everything. And the football guys, they bless you in unexpected ways. You know, there's basketball guys, then there's football guys. They bless you in unexpected ways. So just having that get ready or ready now mindset, I think you'll be fine. Actually, I know you'll be fine. But more importantly, I want to kind of shine a light on you because you've been working on some things behind the scenes, preparing yourself for the TV role, for the TV personality lane and what that looks like. And you're getting ready to launch, I should say, your own podcast called Roster Ready. And I look forward to seeing what it is. But tell us some of the things that you're looking forward to this and the mindset, the background, how this cultivated, how this come together, and when can we expect to see Roster Ready launch on all platforms?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Everything that you were just saying about my career. But yes, I am starting to, transition, just getting my life after football ready, but still trying to, keep that window open. And, for me, it's easy to do something that you love for a living. I feel like that's not a job, that's a lifestyle. So for me, Roster Ready, my podcast that I will be launching, should be, I'm getting ready to shoot my first episode tomorrow, and then the first episode should be launched this weekend. But we're just highlighting, guys are similar like stories like mine, some of those, hidden gems, some of those leagues that don't get as much, public news and mainstream news. We're trying to highlight those guys, bring those stories to life. Obviously, we have to cover the mainstream media when it comes to the NBA and the NFL and, things of that nature. But we're going to try to focus more so on the development leagues, the CFLs, the UFLs, a lot of the colleges, the guys that are upcoming next. I think they deserve some light and some shine too. And I think there's a lane for me there. Not only because I'm interested in these sports and these topics, but it's coming from a guy that's, that's been in that situation where, being the underdog or being one of the guys that's not really talked about a lot. So my perspective is aligns with, a lot of these guys' story. And I feel like it'll be a great production, a great thing for everybody to see. And I think everybody should be tuned into it.
Well, I'm going to need you to share with me all of your platforms that you get ready to do. I will gladly use my platform to share those things. I do, I play quarterback. I didn't play receiver, but I'm willing to bet I can probably get out in the open space on you. And I'll meet you at the pylon. All right, I'm just going to point where I'm going. Somebody like Tom Brady or a good quarterback is going to throw me the ball, and I'm going to say, meet me at the pylon. It's going to be, I'm turning on the Jets, and we're on the way. But in all seriousness, Roster Ready, I know it's going to be something good because, again, your mindset is where it's supposed to be. You have the drive. And, look, I know I'm probably somewhere down the line is going to be a guest on your platform, but definitely consider BG Bryant Garvin because his although he did not make it, he was knocking at the door, and that's him going through tryouts with the Philadelphia Eagles at the time, playing, at Temple. I'm sure the stories he has alone. I'm still waiting for the VHS to wipe the dust off so we can see the film, see the tape. But Brian's definitely someone you should have, just from an older person's perspective, his wisdom. His knowledge of the game, football, is what he eats, sleeps, shit, breathes. So I don't look. You can bring me on next year. I don't care when you bring me on, but definitely consider Bryant as a potential guest at some point through quarter two, if not quarter three, because the man has a lot of stories, but his knowledge and his insights to the game is something that I've been grateful to have during the NFL season, and I know that he can be a light to shine on your platform. And I think also I may have to reach out to Coach Burrs, Bryant, being a CFL legend. If you don't know Henry Burrs, Dexter, please do your research because the brother was just exceptional, winning multiple awards in the CFL at quarterback. I mean, he was the man in Canada before there was a man in Canada. And Brian said it last week when we had him on that they should have a statue of him somewhere out there. So I could definitely would love to bridge a gap with you two. Hopefully, give back to those who give to me. And you have carved out your time to come on here and give us your time to share about, your career, not being drafted, but it's me returning the favor and giving your platform the boost or the love or the sharing, the repost, whatever it is that it needs. I will be there to support with this platform to do that. So whenever you do get the links, everything set up, send it over to me. I will go ahead and put this in tonight's episode on our YouTube channel for this episode, so folks out there can support you, subscribe to your channels, like you, follow you, whatever, because that's what it's all about. Pour into people that pour into you.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. That's what I do. I warned you earlier about what could potentially happen. And this will be Brian's last Unfiltered for a while. 10-day contract has come to a halt. We will not be adding him to the playoff roster. But I know he's about to do something stupid again. I just know. This is Bryant. I've been working with this guy for 61 episodes. So I've seen the good and the bad and the ugly. All right, and it's time for episode
quick.
62. Is it?
Oh, it's gonna be quick. I just got a few words to say.
All right. Well, it's episode 62's edition of Bryant Garvin's Unfiltered. May the good Lord be with us and pray that we do not get canceled.
Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. You know the shit that I'm talking about, and I put a post on my page about someone said something about he had to pay $700,000 a month, and I did the shit intentionally, right? Because all this is fucking bullshit. Like, why the fuck do people put so much energy and time into two motherfuckers that's screwing each other? She had a bunch of hoes before. He had a bunch of hoes before. What the fuck you think was going to fucking happen? The two hoes was going to get married? And now everybody's surprised about this shit. A fucking soap opera. No, nobody wants. I don't want to pay attention, but yet, who's entertained by it? Women. He did this. No, he cheating. They didn't say nothing about her ass from the previous 20 motherfuckers she done dated. Nothing. They just were so happy to see these two together. But you know that shit never works. You in the CFL. The NFL, you already know what goes on in there. You already know what goes on in the NBA. It ain't no goddamn secret. You know what goes on in the baseball leagues. You know all these coaches are doing. You already know. So why is this fucking uproar on X, Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to call it, Facebook, and this shit, and that shit, and Instagram, and everybody's up and turned upside down. They got their fucking panties over their head. Talk about this shit. So I sat back and looked at it, and I said, everybody talk about this shit. Even my own daughter was talking about this shit. And I said, oh, you caught up in that shit too, huh? I said, oh, yeah? I said, yeah. Now, and then I had a friend, right? I had a friend, men ain't shit. Fucking men ain't shit. And I'm like, hey, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, you really paying attention to this shit? And she does it on her platform, on not Instagram, but what's the other one? Not Twitter. No, what's the other social media platform? TikTok. She got her own shit on TikTok. She be going live on TikTok talking about this shit. And I'm like, I said, wait a minute. I said, the only ones that talk about this shit is the ones who got the fucking problems themselves. Nobody else cares about it. I don't give a fuck who he fucks. I don't give a fuck about who she fucks. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Why the fuck are we gonna fuck about that? It's just what it is. Man, leave this shit alone. Just let them do whatever the hell they're gonna do. They're gonna do it any fucking way. So why you care so much about the shit? Let's keep it moving and good. We got other shit to worry about instead of that bullshit. And that's my Unfiltered. And I had to go out with a fucking bang on this one. Because that shit pissed me off. Got me drinking Canada Dry. I mean, come on. Enough is enough.
I've never seen Bryant drink soda a day in my life.
It's fucking me up. It's really, when the last time I drank the soda?
I couldn't tell you.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
He got different brands and everything.
Yeah. Shit's got me story guy. I'm stressed out.
I'm like this, and then and then I know you didn't want to talk about the Vrabel shit, right? But then I had to say something because they are dogging him. But this bitch, nobody's saying nothing about her. Nobody's saying a fucking word. Only thing that you hear about her ass is that she fucking retired and she resigned. That's it. Oh, and she named her son. She named her son Mike.
Michael,
same shit.
I don't like the media coverage.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, where's the balance? Where's the balance? Yeah, pick and choose because Vrabel is the head man. They don't give a fuck about her. Just in NFL. Tell me how they don't give a fuck about her. She can go off to the fucking sunset and they would forget her fucking name. In about 2 months, when the summer gets here, they will forget because they forgot about Rachel Nichols. They forgot all about that shit.
She's employed now.
Yeah, I understand, but nobody gives a shit. She's not on a national platform. Nobody brings her name up. But yet, she was fucking basketball players. Nobody brings her fucking name up. Nobody gives. No, it's just what it is. It's a whole fest. Come on, stop.
I got a few things I need to address. I told myself I wasn't going to speak on this Megan Klay thing because I just think it's a first off, they didn't even last a year. That's one.
Oh.
Two, it was very seasonal. It was a seasonal relationship. And we know the Mavericks aren't in the playoffs, so there's not much to do in the offseason besides, of course, vacation, prepare for next season, work on your game, etc. What bothers me, I don't like how they are trying to bash Team Light Skin, all right? Yeah, I know I'm light skinned till the day I die. I'm proud of that, okay? But y'all not going to sit up here on these platforms and bash Klay for supposedly cheating, but we haven't even opened up the can of worms on Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. See, if you're going to go down that road and do it right, okay? But I'm not going to go down that road tonight. More importantly, Megan was so advocate of going on Shannon Sharp's show and telling the world how she never had a man like Klay Thompson before and the things he does for her and how he makes her feel. And then we got Megan cooking, which I don't even know if she can really cook, but we just going to say she can cook and going over Klay's parents' house and putting on an impression and a persona. And then you come out here publicly and say that he cheated on you. Now, there are better ways to do things. I'm a fan of doing things the right way. I don't break up my lady and go on social media and say she's a piece of shit. I don't do that. That's just ignorant. That's clickbait. That's putting your personal business out on the streets. And we know the world of social media, they will take it, spin it, shit on it, spit it back out, and reflip it and create their own narrative. But Megan, you have to understand, Klay is a certified splash brother. Okay, he's earned that name, splash brother. Okay, and more importantly, Klay made $100 million plus in his NBA career before you got in the picture, and he's gonna make some more money when you're out of the picture. So when we look at Megan Thee Stallion's career, we know that she's a mega star, shakes her ass. I'm not going to speak about her ass. But more importantly, her music career has kind of been on, I don't know, turbulence control. I don't know when she came out, last song she came out, or album or track. But don't bash this man like that. I mean, you knew what you were getting yourself into before you made it official. He's an NBA player. There are women in every city, every team goes in. Now, I don't know if the cheating allegations are true. I'm going to say they ain't because light-skinned folks don't cheat, all right? Real light-skinned men don't cheat, all right?
I don't care if they are true. Yeah. Nobody want to know about that shit.
I'm just saying you shouldn't put it out publicly.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
Your feelings hurt.
She literally put it on herself.
Oh my God!
Yeah, she put it out there on themselves. Like nobody would have even known of any of this happening if you would have never said nothing. You embarrassed yourself at that point.
Yeah, nobody care about that shit. You didn't do it with the 20 previous motherfuckers. You didn't do it with the 20 previous motherfuckers. You just had to do it with this one because it's Klay. Man, give me a fucking break.
Tory Lane's in jail, and we know that shit was bullshit.
Oh,
but. Something's got to give. I mean, listen, if you were saying Klay was the best and all this stuff, what were your actions in a relationship to keep it healthy, to keep it ongoing? Because I don't know their relationship history behind closed doors. I mean, I know Klay was shooting from deep in the bedroom. I know that. I'm sure of that. But at the end of the day, he was shooting from deep in the bedroom. I know that. I don't have to guess that.
But I tell you what, that one video clip with him when I guess they were out at a function and she was over there acting ghetto and laughing.
At the dinner. Yeah. The award show.
He was a deer in headlight look.
Deer in the headlights. Like, what did I?
Yeah.
What the fuck did I get myself into? Exactly.
But that's today's dating. There's not really any real love out there, and if it is, it's hidden between the cracks because we're entering a season where the weather's getting nice, spring is here, summer's around the corner, and look, we all know what time it is during that time. You're gonna meet some chicks that's in the moment. You're gonna go out, have a little situationship, and then before you know it, she's gone and you're already working on the next. I mean, if you're going to be serious about somebody and be intentional, do it for all the right reasons. Don't do it for social media. Don't do it because you get clickbait. Don't do it for views. If you are in love with somebody, keep your relationship off the internet. Keep it private. It lasts longer. It's more healthier. And you don't need everybody in your business. If you want your business on Jump Street, you and your partner will make it known to put it on Jump Street. I don't need to wake up in the morning and see the woman I'm talking to, my girlfriend at the time, whatever, posting how full of shit I am because I didn't cook dinner last night, or I didn't rub her feet after she got out the tub, or I didn't rub her body down with lotion, or I didn't pick her up from the airport. Goofy shit. Don't put nothing on social. If you have a problem, we have the conversation together. Come to me. And we put a solution in place for actions to change. But the day's world, man, you didn't change the toilet paper, it's on Twitter. You didn't take out the trash, it's on Instagram. You didn't clean my car out and wash it because you drove it, it's on fucking Facebook. Please, folks, relationships, keep it private. It's not the world's business. You know what I mean? I mean, if she was going to post, never mind. I'm gonna keep that for another day. I ain't even gonna. I'm not trying to get canceled. I'm not trying to get canceled.
I just saw one somebody post today. that a man was hitting him up and basically asked her to send him a picture so he could put it on his phone, and she was offended by that, and she put the text thread on social media. I'm like what? I just looked at it and I said, why the fuck would you do that? Like, no, nobody gives. Today's world. I was like, yeah, are you serious? So she was like, I'm not going to call him back because he asked me for a picture. I wouldn't call you back because you put the shit on social media. Fuck the picture.
I don't like that shit at all. And I don't want to be a part of it.
Retarded.
Team Light Skin lives forever. Klay, we got you. All right? We got you. If the allegations are true, we got you. If the allegations are false, we got you. And if it's true that this woman was asked for $700,000 a month to keep her status of her life or profile maintained, that right there should be the reason why I did cheat on your ass, because you asking me for $700,000 a month. You are crazy. I don't see you in that. I don't see you in that studio putting in them overtime hours, making new music or making that new album. I mean, shit. I'm playing in the NBA. I'm out there. I know his game is sort of took a little bit of a toll. He's not the same Klay that he was in Golden State. However, I don't see you in there trying to bring money to the table to make this relationship keep going. Because if I'm going to be the breadwinner, if I'm the only one bringing in the money, we have a problem.
She wasn't with you shooting in the gym, just like Rick Ross said.
And you just sit your ass right there. Sit your ass right there and don't move till I tell you. So it's be careful, folks. Be careful who you want to be with. Know your audience. Do your homework. Look, her past is the past. I mean, I'm not a fan of wifing a woman that had sex with 20 other celebrities. I just wouldn't do that. But be careful. Tread lightly. That right there should have been a bump and grind and keep it moving. But you got her on the boat. You got her at the house. Got to meet the parents. I mean, you can't give women this stuff early. You got to know who the woman is before you invite somebody. You're crazy. It might take you a year to meet my mother. It might take you a year for me to bring you to Brian's house for the barbecues. Everyone don't have that access and privileges. I mean, shit, it may take you a year before I say, hey, what's next? You know what I mean? But not saying a year, but you know what I'm saying. But the fact they didn't last a year, it is what it is. And I know Klay Thompson will be splashing his way on to the Knicks. And I know Megan will somehow, some way continue to paint the picture that it's all Klay's fault. It's all Klay's fault. He did it. It's because of him we broke up. And it's like, got to do better. And Brian, that was a pretty good Unfiltered, man. You went out with a bang. You sure did. You absolutely did. Do you want to give any relationship advice to like Dexter or myself? I mean, Dexter's a young king. I'm a young king. Any relationship advice you want to give to us?
Hell no. Hell to the hell no. No, you don't want to hear my shit.
Like nothing, not a piece of advice, nothing.
I can't give you advice for shit. Let me tell you, you see my face?
I see it.
That's your advice right there.
Noted, greatly noted for the public, Brian. Appreciate you. It's we're gonna leave Unfiltered right where it's at. So we'll transition to Rewind of the Week because there's a certain team that I want to highlight, and they have deserved it so, and that is the San Antonio Spurs. So 62's edition of Rewind of the Week, and I promise you it won't be like Unfiltered. So we good. We are good. We are good. All right. Okay, now that we got Klay Thompson, Megan Stallion off the board, it's time for my Rewind of the Week, and it is the San Antonio Spurs closing out the Portland Trail Blazers. and a 114-95 win yesterday, closing out the series. And it's the first playoff series that the Spurs have won since 2017. Damn, never thought I'd see that. The Spurs have always been a threat in the West, always been one of the top teams in the West from the Greg Popovich era. But there is a new era. Also, we're keeping our prayers and positive spirits and vibes sent to Coach Pop, because if you didn't know, he suffered from a stroke, and he's just not the same Pop that we once saw. So we know strokes can cause a major health change, but was happy to always see Pop at practice, supporting the Spurs, led by his mentee from the Greg Popovich tree, and that's Coach Mitch Johnson, who joined the organization in 2016. He was upgraded to Coach Pop's staff from the G League in 2020. He succeeded Coach Hall of Famer Greg Popovich after his health scare. He's had one of the best records in the West this past season. The Spurs being 32-8 at home during the regular season, 6th man of the year. Came back home for the second time in franchise history. That was Keldon Johnson. If you didn't know, Manu Ginobili was a 6th man of the year also in his NBA career. And the Spurs wait for the winner of Denver and Minnesota. But it's players like De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, who have come in here and pretty much changed the culture in San Antonio, along with Wemby. And long as Wemby's healthy, I like the Spurs in the West, regardless, to go all the way. They're the only team that could potentially, outside of Minnesota, with Edwards healthy, but I'll take Denver also. That could give OKC a run for their money. I just don't see LA doing that next series once they close out the Rockets tonight. But I wanted to shine a light on the Spurs, because anytime you can get back in the playoffs and win a playoff series, that's special in itself. So the fact that they're getting ready to go prepare for a second-round matchup, first since 2017, I know it's been a long time, but it's good to see the Spurs in the playoffs, and good to see Spurs winning playoff basketball. So shout out to the San Antonio Spurs for getting it done and moving on to the next round. And I know the Trailblazers, they aren't great, and they have a lot of things going on with their organization and Chauncey Billups and the gambling and all that stuff. However, it's about the San Antonio Spurs. So congrats to Wemby and the crew. Floss and Moss 62. Chris, let's get out of here. Let's go home, baby. We have officially entered What Are We Doing in the NCAA. If you did not know, news came out today that the NCAA has officially announced that the men's and women's tournament, NCAA tournament, is expanding to 76 teams. Now, I just don't know the thought process. Maybe it was those same folks in that round table that was in the president's boardroom, that was in this NCAA boardroom with the president to figure out, let's expand to 76 teams. So that just might be the dumbest thing I've saw today in the world of sports. There is no reason why. First off, there ain't 76 teams that are good enough to make the tournament to begin with. You already get a blessing with making the first 4. And that's just another buy-in game that gives you an opportunity to make it to officially the first round of the NCAA tournament. But the fact that we are expanding the teams to 76, what are we doing? I understand viewership. I understand, the money that's behind it, but you can't name me 76 teams that are good enough to make the NCAA tournament, both men's and women's. If that's the case, I guess it's safe to say, Bryant, that Rutgers finally may have a shot to make the tournament.
Well, here's one.
And Bryant loves Rutgers.
Here's the one thing that it just hit me why they are really doing this, right?
Oh, tell us.
Because what's happening is you have teams that really suck win the tournament. So they get automatic bids. So if you're freaking 16-11 and you win the tournament, just you got hot late, you get an automatic bids, but yet you got other teams that are 30 times better than that team not make the tournament. So now they're going to put them in the 76 for a play-in. And it's like the opposite. It's like you should take those teams that won the tournament that's ass and put them in a play-in to see if they can deserve it. But it's so off balance and so chaotic that, you should have had Seton Hall in there last year. You really should have. Well, I would put Seton Hall in there before Miami, Ohio. And I don't care if Miami, Ohio won 30-something games. They got their ass kicked in the field of 64, the first round, done. Get send them home. They didn't. They deserve it, but they didn't deserve it. You feel me? So
I feel you.
It's
this benefits Miami of Ohio.
It does, but until they get to the 64, they get their ass kicked. So it's like, come on. Let's just be real.
I just don't understand 76. Let's be realistic.
It's just I don't get it either. But
name
I'm
me
trying.
76 teams in the country that are it's just not designed that way. 64 was the number, and I'm okay with 64. Has always been that way. If you are the top 64, that's it. 68, 64 in. Okay, cool.
Here's an example. Akron.
Oh my!
Why did Akron get in there? Because they won the tournament. Like Akron was ass all year, but then they won the tournament. It completely destroys it because nobody's playing the NIT anymore.
They're all declining.
Yeah, they all declined the game. So now NIT nobody even watched that shit no more.
Auburn won.
So that's of course because they playing against freaking Division II schools. Like what are you doing?
So quickly, Bryant, lead and Dexter follow. With the expansion of 76 in both men's and women's, is this good for the sport moving forward?
I don't know. It depends. It depends on the structure. If you sit there and if you suck and you wind up being seated 18th in the country or wherever it may be, or get in a round of 64, you get getting the 12th seed. It's like it's just I just have to see the setup and how they plan on doing it. Those guys that really, if they're 14-12 or 12-16 and winning the tournament, they should go to the 76. Don't put them in the seed of the 5 versus the 12 and the 24th seed and all that. Don't put them there. Put them over in 76, 75, 74. That's in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they would, structure it or how they pick these 76 teams because, like Brian said, there's a lot of teams that's just winning their conference and getting automatic bids, but they're really trash teams in trash conferences. So them getting that automatic bid doesn't necessarily mean that they're a team worth, putting in the tournament. But I don't know. It's interesting. From the flip side of the perspective, I know for the kids, it's probably going to be, exciting for them to actually be able to get in the tournament and say they played in the tournament for one round or whatever the case may be. But like I said before, I think this is all a money grab for more games, more publicity, more, all of that is what this all comes around. But I'm with all y'all. I don't really understand 76 teams need to be in the tournament.
It's really unnecessary. It's really it's just plain stupid. It's plain stupid. I mean, if you're not good enough to make the tournament, you're just not good enough. I mean, the NIT is always there for you. Coaches these days are declining it. We see Seton Hall this year, and it's something's got to give. I mean, I'm starting to think the NCAA is getting dumber with the decision making and not smarter. But we're trying to put cap on NIL, but we want to expand their tournament 76 teams. Like, all right, whatever. It is what it is. So, Dex, for the folks out there that may not know you or may not know where to find you, tell us where we can find you on social media, on your platform, as well as what are some of the things you have coming down the pipe besides your podcast in the year 2026, and what's one message you would like to leave for the next generation?
Yeah, you can find me at Dex Lawson Jr. on all social media platforms. Dex Lawson, that's my nickname, Dex. Played off of Dexter. And yeah, I'm just excited for what's next right now. I'm just training. I'm getting ready for my next call, my next opportunity. Hopefully, whether it be with the CFL, UFL, wherever it is, I'll be ready for that opportunity and showcase my talents and things of that nature. And what was your other question?
Sports Show 101. Got to be more careful. What's one message you want to leave for the younger generation?
Oh yeah, for the younger generation, I just want everybody just to continue being themselves. Find out who you are, find out what your identity is and who you are, and understand that there's a lane for everybody out here in this world. Whether you're different from your friends or different from the peers that you go to school with, things of that nature, just understand, lean into whatever your passion is. You'll always find a community within your passion as long as you stay true to yourself. Never try to fit into a box that you're not shaped for either. That's the easiest way to stand out for the wrong reasons.
Say it one more time. Let me write this down. Hold on. Say it one more time. Hold on. Say it one more time. Let me write this down. Hold on. I do this from time to time. I like to receive the wisdom.
Yeah, no, I said never try to fit into a box that you're not shaped for. That's the easiest way to stand out for the wrong reasons.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes,
Dex, it's always a pleasure. You're more than welcome to join me anytime, any day. You just let me know, and wish you the best of luck and office. Let me be more realistic. Wishing you the great success for your podcast is getting ready to launch starting tomorrow with your recording as well as you releasing episode 1. What a great way to start off the month of May to launch your podcast. And we're here to support you best way we can. And look, you can always use Brian if you want, because he might be the reason you show his viewership, because he's been a blessing to us for 61 episodes. I can't control what he says. I mean, if he don't take his vitamins or his medicine, all hell breaks loose. Right? But he's on.
I took my medicine before I came on. I was calm today.
I appreciate y'all for having me, though, man. It was a pleasure being on this platform with you guys and, talking ball and things of that nature. But I appreciate the support as well.
No doubt.
Well, anytime, my brother. Appreciate you, Dexter Lawson Jr. Signing off on episode 62. He will be back. If you guys don't, please support him more as well. Support him on Ready Ross. That's getting ready to debut, launching in May. So, Dex, man, we'll see you down the road, man. Love you, brother.
I think we may have lost Monty.
Brian's in the host seat. All right. Oh, Joe, we're back.
There we go.
Before we sign off tonight's episode, I have to do what is what I always do, and that's pay homage to OGs and the great founders that have poured into me and into my cup over the years. And Brian has been a person who has been really good to me through good and bad, and is part of the reason why the Rewind is where it's at, as well as how it started. Quick story: it started in 2020 in his basement. We did an episode together. I then went on my own and had a bunch of other great guests who have blessed us with their presence and having to shoot the episode in Brian's basement with no cameras like we have right now, no producer like we have right now, no graphic designer, no lower thirds. It was literally a table, his projection monitor light, crown, and a round table that he has in his basement with some chairs. And we made the most of it, and we made it work, and it was a great time. But I want to take this time, Bryant, to say thank you for all the work that you have done on the Rewind through 61 episodes. That is truly a blessing in itself, showing up week in and week out. It's a weekly thing, and you've carved your calendar out to do that, even though when you weren't supposed to be on or told me you weren't going to be on, somehow, some way you slid through the back door and made it on anyway. But it's been truly a blessing. And I know May, Brian's going to be gone fishing. He's going to be fishing. He's got some things he's got to work on that he's doing behind the scenes. And BG Bryant Garvin's gone fishing, folks. Look at him. He's got his fishing gear ready. It looks like he's somewhere out in Tennessee, maybe Oklahoma. I don't know. But Bryant, we wanted to take this time to say thank you Thank you for your contributions to the Rewind. Thank you for your amazing personality through all of these seasons of sports. Literally, we've done this thing for a year and a half now, and you were there from episode 1 of the launch. You're here now of episode 62, and you said it last week, man. 61 episodes. You would have never thought, but yet we have many, many, many ways to go. So the month of June, Bryant will return in some form or capacity, just not sure where or how yet, because I know he's going to be missing this platform for a month because outside of his wife, he likes to come here and talk shit. So, Bryant, we want to say thank you. I want to say I love you. And on behalf of Chris, Pat, myself, it's been a hell of a ride. And we got to go back to Canada again. We got to see Chris in studio again, but thank you, brother. I love you and I appreciate you. And I know you're still going to be here supporting this thing, helping this thing grow in whatever form or fashion you can. And man, God knows I'm truly thankful to have you in my life, even though you're a pain in my ass, but I'm grateful to have you in my life. I love you. Thank you.
Love you too, man. You're welcome, man. I'll see everybody within a month. I got some things that I have to do.
Well, final words before we start off episode 62.
Well, final words is basically I'm gonna be watching these episodes, when they live anyway. If I'm doing what I need to be doing, and I gotta get my little hustle on. But I wish everybody the best of May. And I'll be in Chicago this coming up month, and going back to Texas, and I got doing a lot of bit of traveling here and there, and I'm wishing everybody having a safe spring/summer coming up. I know June is going to be here real quick, and I'll be back around that time. Understand something. Don't do what I want to do.
That we won't do. That I won't do. So listen, man, the House Music Festival is coming up, and we got some things to do. So we're gonna keep this train rolling. We're gonna keep the content rocking, and we want to say, Bryant, we will see you again down the road. So on behalf of the crew, Pat, Chris, 1990 Studios, my dog, thank you for what you do week in and week out. To BG Bryant Garvin, to Dexter Lawson Jr., Monty Moss signing off. Same place, same time, same platform next week, episode 63 of The Rewind with your boy, yours truly. Thank you. We love you. Don't be like Megan Thee Stallion. Don't be like Klay Thompson. Keep your relationship private. And as I always say before each and every end of every episode, go Bears.
Let's go!
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one to run. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm